used to think feeling cold was just part of getting older. No matter how many layers I wore, how high I turned up the thermostat, that chill never really left me. It crept into my hands, my feet, even my bones. Some nights I'd lie under 2 blankets, still shivering, wondering if something was wrong or if I was just aging. My name is Richard. I'm 67 years old, retired, and for the last few years, I've been cold, all the time. It wasn't always like this. I used to love winter walks, hot coffee on the porch, and that crisp morning air. But lately, even a soft breeze made me grab for a sweater. It started one December morning. I was helping my wife, Ellen, hang Christmas lights. It was a mild day, maybe 50 degrees, but my fingers went numb within minutes. Ellen laughed and said, "You've always hated the cold." I smiled back, but deep down, I knew this was different. By February, it wasn't just my hands. My feet were ice even with thick socks, my nose stayed cold indoors, and sometimes, even in bed, my skin felt pale and lifeless. One night, I held Ellen's hand and said quietly, "Something feels off. It's like my body can't stay warm anymore." She squeezed my hand and said, "You're probably just tired, or maybe your blood's thinning with age." Her voice was calm, but I could see the worry behind her eyes. The next morning, I decided to see Dr. Collins, my physician of 20 years. He's the kind of man who listens before he speaks, the kind of doctor who remembers your stories, not just your charts. He greeted me with his usual warmth. "Richard, what brings you in today?" I told him everything. The constant cold, the low energy, the pale skin, even how my nails looked more brittle than before. He nodded thoughtfully and said, "Let's check a few things. Sometimes your body sends small signals when something deeper's off." He ran a few tests, thyroid, blood count, iron levels, circulation checks. Then he leaned back and said words I didn't expect. "Your numbers are low, not dangerously, but enough to explain what you're feeling." I frowned. "Low? What do you mean?" He turned the monitor toward me and pointed. "Your thyroid hormones are on the lower side of normal, and your iron's borderline too." Then he smiled softly. "It's your metabolism, Richard. It's slowing down. Your body's furnace isn't burning quite as hot as it used to." "So that's why I'm always cold?" I asked. He nodded. "Exactly. Think of your thyroid as your body's thermostat. When it slows, everything cools." He explained how the thyroid controlled heart rate, temperature, and even mood, and how age, stress, or nutrient deficiencies, especially low iodine, selenium, and iron, could quietly turn that thermostat down. He continued, "When your blood doesn't carry enough oxygen-rich red cells, your extremities suffer first, fingers, toes, ears. That's why they feel coldest." It all made sense. The fatigue, the chills, even the foggy mornings. I asked what I could do, and that's when Dr. Collins said something that would completely change my nights, my mornings, and how I understood my own body. He leaned forward and said, "Before you start any pills or supplements, let's listen to what your body's trying to tell you. Your body isn't broken, Richard. It's whispering. You just have to start hearing it again." That night, I couldn't stop thinking about that sentence. Your body's whispering. I lay awake under the covers, feeling that chill again, and wondered, what if this wasn't just cold? What if this was my body asking for warmth, not from outside, but from within? That's where it all began, my journey to find warmth again, the kind that starts inside.
The next morning, I sat in my kitchen with a cup of tea, thinking about everything Dr. Collins had said. The steam from the cup felt good against my face, the only warmth that seemed to reach me lately. I realized something simple, but powerful. I had stopped paying attention to my own body years ago. I was retired, less active, eating less, moving less, and somewhere along the way, I had started to believe that fatigue and chills were just normal. Later that week, Dr. Collins called me back to his office for a follow-up. He had that same calm smile as he placed a folder on the desk. He said, "Richard, Everything I'm seeing tells me your metabolism has slowed down, but that's not the end of the story. We can wake it up again." He pulled out a chart showing how our thyroid gland, sitting right in the middle of our neck, controls body heat, digestion, and energy. He said, "Think of it like a campfire. When we're young, it burns bright. But as we age, if we stop adding the right kind of fuel, that flame dims. And when the fire cools, you feel cold, inside and out." He showed me something I had never seen before. A small diagram of the thyroid hormones labeled T3 and T4. He explained, "Your body needs iodine to make these hormones. It also needs selenium to convert them into active form. Without them, your cells slow down. Your heart beats slower, your temperature drops, even your brain feels foggy." I listened carefully. It felt like he was describing my entire last year. "So what do?" I asked quietly. He smiled. "You start with food, not pills. Your body knows how to heal when you give it the right fuel." He handed me a paper titled "The Warm Body Plan." It wasn't a diet, more like a ritual of nourishment. Step 1. Start your mornings with a cup of warm lemon water and a pinch of sea salt. That salt, he said, contains natural iodine, a spark for your thyroid. Step 2. Eat foods that restore warmth. Eggs, salmon, nuts, lentils, spinach, and seaweed if you can find it. And don't fear healthy fats, he added. Your hormones are made from them. Then came step 3, movement. He said, "Richard, motion creates circulation, and circulation is warmth." He told me to take a 10-minute walk after breakfast, every single day, even if the air was cold. He said, "Your muscles are like pumps. When you move, they push warm blood back to your heart. That's how you reignite the internal fire." I wrote everything down carefully. It felt like I was being handed a map back to myself. That night, I sat with Ellen at dinner and told her everything. She smiled, a little skeptical, and said, "So your doctor thinks seaweed will make you warm?" I laughed. "Not just seaweed. Hope, maybe." She reached across the table and said, "Well, if it brings you back to feeling like you again, I'm in." And so it began, my journey to turn my body's flame back on. The next morning, I followed the plan exactly. Warm water with lemon and salt, a slow breakfast of eggs and oats, and a short walk in the chilly air. The wind bit at my cheeks, but this time I noticed something different. The more I moved, the less cold I felt. My hands, which were usually icy, started to feel alive again. By the time I got home, my face was flushed, my pulse strong. It wasn't a miracle, but it was a beginning. That night, as I sat reading by the fireplace, Ellen glanced over and said, "You're not wearing your sweater tonight." I looked down and realized she was right. For the first time in months, I wasn't shivering. I smiled quietly and whispered to myself, "Maybe the fire's coming back." And days turned into weeks, and something amazing started happening. My energy came back. My hands stayed warm. My color returned. Even my mood lifted. It felt like my body was waking up after a long winter. But the biggest change was yet to come, one that would make me truly understand what my body had been trying to tell me all along.
It's been a full year since that first day I noticed my hands trembling with cold. And if you asked me now what changed my life the most, it wasn't medicine or supplements. It was awareness. Today, my routine looks simple, but it's built on intention. I wake up and stretch before even stepping out of bed to tell my body I'm still here and I'm ready. I drink a glass of warm lemon water, not just to wake up my system, but to remind myself that warmth begins within. Then I walk, rain or shine, because movement is the language my body speaks best. I eat differently now, too. Not fancy, not complicated, just real food, Soups, whole grains, leafy greens, salmon, nuts, foods that circulate warmth and feed my muscles. I even learned the power of spices. Turmeric, cinnamon, and ginger have become my closest friends. They do more than flavor my meals. They wake up my blood, my senses, my spirit. And I stopped ignoring rest. Sleep used to be something I fit in. Now it's something I honor. Because your body heals in silence, not when you push it, but when you let it breathe. Sometimes slowing down is the most powerful thing you can do to feel alive again. Once a week, Ellen and I visit the same park where I once sat shivering, watching other people walk by. Now I'm one of them, moving, laughing, feeling the sun against my skin. We even started a small group called Warm Hearts, a place for seniors to talk, walk, and share what they've learned about growing older with grace. And every time I see someone's cheeks flush pink after a few weeks, I can't help but smile, because that's not just blood returning to the skin. That's life returning to the soul. I've learned that aging doesn't mean cooling down. It means finding new ways to keep your flame alive. It's not about staying young. It's about staying warm, curious, and connected. Because the truth is, the body remembers warmth long after the world has turned cold. So if you're listening right now, maybe sitting alone, maybe with a blanket around your shoulders, hear this from someone who's been there. Your body isn't failing you. It's inviting you to pay attention, to eat a little better, to move a little more, to feel sunlight on your skin again. Because healing doesn't start with a pill, it starts with a choice. And maybe, just maybe, that choice begins today, with you deciding to stop being cold and start being alive again. Because warmth isn't just a temperature, it's a state of being. And once you find it, you never want to let it go. This is Richard, 71 years old, and warmer than ever. And if I can find that light again, so can you. Because sometimes the body doesn't whisper for help, it whispers for hope. And when you finally listen, the world starts to feel beautiful again.